Yes.
So I would like to introduce our good friend, and I would like to pass the microphone to him. He's waiting for you to talk. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Nikita. I'd like to tell you a little bit about how I came here. I first got interested in meditation when I was in college, and I started with mindfulness of breathing, and I had some interesting experiences which really made me fascinated about Buddhism. It made it real for me after reading some books, and eventually it became a daily practice. And eventually it took me to Asia over the years, where I became a monk and had many interesting experiences, my experimentation with meditation. But one of the things that I'd really like to focus on, just for now, is how I see the monastic lifestyle fitting into today's culture, especially the Western culture, and how the West can take the best, let's say, from the East and integrate it into this time. So what I really didn't expect, and I had no idea, couldn't have known before I went to Myanmar, where I ordained as a monk, was this basically the direct experience of being supported by lay people. It really made no sense to me. I've heard these ideas that there are these monks and they're supported by lay people, but one of these questions I've heard, well, why would you support monks? They're not working. We work for a living. So this kind of thing just didn't make any sense. So the only answer was is generosity. I didn't really grow up being generous. There's no practice of making donations in my family. We didn't go to church, didn't feed the hunger or anything. So when I personally had the opportunity to be on the receiving end, it was really transformative because suddenly my livelihood completely depended on other people. And it almost took me to like an emotional breaking point. On the one hand, I felt that I was really benefiting a lot from my experience as a monk, that I couldn't have experienced otherwise had I not been supported by this lay community. I couldn't, for example, get the insight that can only be attained from living a very simple life. Very simple life, you strip it down to its basics. You eat one meal a day, you sleep, and you just take care of your basics. And we need a certain environment in order to be, to cultivate the mental conditions, so that our insight can develop. And so this is only possible because of the lay community. So one of the things that I kept thinking about was, well, how is this going to work in America? This is Myanmar, and people have this cultural long faith over there. They believe they're getting merit, they're doing something good for their future lifetimes. Maybe they can be reborn in a higher realm. So naturally, it makes some sense. If you have faith, then it's only right to do what you have faith in. But in the West, what people don't really have this very strong understanding of merit, at least not in the Asian sense. And for people to do something, they need to feel that it's important. They need to have faith in it. And my family wouldn't do it. So I was really looking, what are the reasons? What is the value of what is the value of Dhamma, what is the value of Buddhism that Western people can recognize so that they can support the monastic lifestyle. And this is basically became really clear. This is only possible in Thailand, only possible in Myanmar and Sri Lanka. Not so much in traditional Catholic, Orthodox monasticism. In Sri Lanka, in Myanmar, in Thailand, monasticism is more, in some ways, can be understood as everyone benefits because there's a cycle, a rotation system. Anyone can go into the monastery whenever they need. It's like a social security. Children go there, they get some basic education. Young adults, when they're going through a transitional phase, can easily go to a monastery and really make good decisions about what's going to be next. In the West, in America, where I grew up, after high school, you just go to college. After college, you get a job. There's not really any time to reflect. There's not opportunity to make a wise decision. A lot of times, it's just you make the decision because your family, because the culture. Even though you don't really know what you want, you have no time to really figure it out. The pace of life is just too fast. However, if we have this time to reflect, such as an institution like a monastery, well, we can go. We're not necessarily in a rush. We can go, we can reflect, we can make a wise decision. In the middle age people, 50 years, 40s, 50s, 60s, there's this idea, of the midlife crisis. Why does this happen? A lot of people go through a transitional phase because children grow up, move out of the house. Sometimes physical problems start to develop, and there are lots of statistics to show that even in the midlife, adults still don't really know what is their point of living. Like they don't have a clear meaning of life that is developed in their conscience. So if we have a system like in the East, Myanmar, Thailand, Sri Lanka, a monastery where you can go to, well, suddenly you can go there and simplify your lifestyle to the bare necessities. You can suddenly give yourself that space where you're not bombarded with all these extras, and you can actually clear your mind. You can actually contemplate, well, what is important? What do I need? What is meaningful to me? And similar, and when you feel that you've figured something out, you don't have to stay, you can go. So because there's this culture actually in these Eastern countries, that is actually how it happens. People go into the monastery and they go out when they feel they've had enough. And this cycle actually is sustainable. Regardless whether you think of merit or not, whether you're getting merits or whether you're not getting merits, whether you think about your next life or not next life, this is actually something that's very practical in whatever culture you're living, whatever your belief system is. We need space where we can clear our mind, when we can get our perspective and figure out what's meaningful, what's valuable, what's important for us. And similar value is there even for the seniors in our communities. There a lot of seniors in America, at least, they feel lack of social support. The government doesn't really provide it. There's insecurity in terms of, will I even have enough to support myself? How sometimes the children aren't actually that supportive. In the East, you can go to a monastery. It's a very natural form of social security. And not only are you, suddenly you have your basic needs met, you also have a peer group. You have a peer support, you have your basic needs, as I've said. So I feel that there's a lot to be gained from the East and the West coming together in this sense, and this is, I hope that we can spread the message of value and explain the value to our Europeans and American families, communities. It doesn't have to be about religion. You don't have to put your faith in something that you don't believe in. There's very clear, practical reasons that we have use for the monastic institution in our community. There's a reason to support it. There's a reason to have it for yourself and for the kids. Thank you.